Well, greetings from a very rainy day in Oregon once again. I'm going to be painting in my car today for day 16 of my Plein April challenge, where I paint every day, plein air, in gouache in my sketchbook. And it is raining. I am along the river that runs up from Staten to Mill City. Let's see, what is the name of this river? Please hold. This is the North Santiam River. And it is a rainy view. But I did make it over the mountains. It was as low as 32 degrees going over the pass from Sisters to here, which is Fisherman's Bend, just west of Mill City. And so I was going to paint on the east side of the mountains, but I decided not to because of the threat of snow, and it was slushing at the height of the pass and about 32 degrees. So I found a place to pull over, Fisherman's Bend day use, and I'm going to paint. Yeah, thanks for coming along, and let's see what I create, shall we? We have yesterday's painting, and then this will be today's painting. And I'm gonna kind of change up the scene a little bit to make it better composition wise. Trees up here, and then sort of a hill like that, and then here's the river. And then over here, I'm gonna do one of the trees I can see. And we'll do some rocks. So this tree will kind of be like framing it in, I think. Yeah. This tree, frame it in. And the river. Some white caps there. Oh my gosh, it is rainy. Yeah. So that's going to be my composition. And then I'm sitting in the passenger side, so it's not going to be as ergonomic as usual for my setup, but because my water's over here in the cup holder down here. But I can put my paints on my lap. Let's see, what brushes? Let's use these flat ones again. Big flat. And then medium flat. I feel like use my big empty peanut butter container today instead of my little things. So we got a very gray sky. So we got a very gray sky today. So using some titanium white in with my palette mud from previous paintings. Just so palette mud is what I call the leftover paint I've mixed in my palette. It's kind of just random stuff, but it works really well for my paintings usually. very gray sky. Gray sky is in, and let's mix some colors. Okay, so the river is kind of vibrant, even on a cloudy day. My Helio blue, some Delft blue, and a little bit of the Payne's gray. It is really dark along the opposite bank of a river. Can you hear that wind? My gosh. Surprised my car's not moving yet. It is windy and rainy and wanting to snow in the up the pass, which is around Santiam Pass where I was. And I'm glad it wasn't sticking on the road yet. Doesn't mean it won't be sticking on the road later, so that's why I hurried onto this side of the mountains. I'm going to add some zinc white. Actually, better yet, I think the titanium white will really brighten up this color. Yeah. I'm afraid I'm going to fog up the, the car, but that's okay. And then let's add a little bit green to that because it feels like there's some green hints to the water. So I did lemon blue, helio blue, titanium white, and a little bit of Payne's gray. Some more, let's blend that up a little bit more. There we go. Color kind of be reflecting the trees. Okay, I like that. Bim some pretty colors. Yeah, I think I'm going to work on another pass over this. Let's switch out my paintbrush. I switched out to my larger 3/4 inch flat brush from Sarah Burns Studio and Craftamo. Their little collaboration they did. I'm going to add some titanium white. And then let's do some Payne's gray. More titanium white. Kind of get some more opaque color over this. So it's more of a flat color, like the coverage is more opaque, so you don't see the paper as much. Okay, I'm looking at that more. Back to my 3/8 inch brush I have, also from Sarah Burns Studio and Craftamo. So, let's see here. I think I'm going to mix, since I just did that, I want to mix the rocks colors. They're very blue looking in this light right now. So I'm just going to do this, some Payne's Gray. Let's do some of this cobalt blue. Some more titanium white. And then some more Payne's Gray. Block in where the rocks are going to be. Move my clip. There we go. And then I see grass around them. Some greens. Use some of this palette green. Get it going. Add a little bit more Payne's Gray to darken it a little bit. Tone it down. Too much. Lemon yellow. Delft blue. A little bit more lemon yellow. It's too blue. And then a little bit of the titanium white. There we go. So we got green between the rocks. And then closer to the bank is shrubbery. Just want to fill in the areas, and I'll go over these again. Okay. The shrubbery along the bank is kind of like brownish red. So I'm going to grab some of my burnt sienna. Oh. Burnt sienna. Let's add it here. A little bit of my red. Pyrrole red. And then some of my ivory black. Peat. I'm going to wipe my brush off my paper towel so it's pretty dry. Get some on the brush and then spread the hairs of the brush apart. Give it a bad hair day. Fan it out. Kind of work on the brush along the river here. If I overlap this part, I won't be able to see it, so I'm trying not to overlap it too much, at least. Alright, I need a smaller brush. This is the size 1. This is like a script brush. So it's very fine line. Let's get some more ivory black in there. Darken this up. Some more burnt sienna. There we go. So this part, I don't like that as much, wipe it down. So this part of the river was hit with a fire in 2020. So this is kind of like, some of it looks like burnt trees, other it is just a shrubbery brush that is growing back since the fire. So it is just a variety of things here. This has a more red tone to it. I like to vary the colors in an area to give more interest. Little squiggly lines for all the brush along the river. Leave this color here so I can come back and kind of overlap the far bank. And let's work on these rocks. Use this little fine brush in the rock color area. And the rocks are all wet, so they're really shiny on the top. Actually, this brush is too small. Switch back to my 3/8 inch flat brush. It is raining. It is raining a lot lately. Numerous times already that I've been painting from inside my car or under some type of shelter. Let's get a darker color going for some shadows. Ground these rocks, literally. Okay, that's dry. My rock's dry, and we work on the far bank, which honestly is a lot of grays. But the trees, let's make them more of a foresty green than what I have in my palette right here. So I'm going to grab some of my Delft blue, Payne's gray, the value of his green, I want it darker than the value in the sky. I'm making 2 variations of his green. So I can pick and choose. Maybe 3 variations, yeah. Okay. Trees. Just really utilizing the brush strokes to make you think these are definitely fir trees. So utilizing the brush strokes to make you definitely think that these are fir trees you are seeing. Get some more lemon yellow, Delft blue. I want a nice opaque layer of paint. I don't want to see much of the paper coming through on this. adding a little bit of color variation as I go. This is not just one big flat color. Coming back up here. I'm gonna get patchwork of brush strokes. This definitely isn't as easy as I thought it would be to do, like trees in the distance. At least not the way I want them portrayed. So the watercolor convention was a lot of fun. The hardest part about conventions is when it's over. It's so much fun to see all of my art friends and get really inspired by all the breakout sessions of the conventions. I really think yesterday's painting was kind of influenced by a couple of the breakout sessions that I got to see. And the breakout sessions are taught by other members, so that's kind of fun to see happen. Let's see here. Where's my brush? Gets a good amount of yellow with a clean brush. I made 2 yellow pans. One that gets pretty much turns green, and the other one that stays nice and yellow. So I wanted to make sure I had a clean brush. Yellow is so easily overwhelmed by pretty much any other color in the palette. It's so easy to get overwhelmed. Really get that paint on this brush. I had other tall trees right here. Trying to resist the urge to add more water to my brush so I can keep this nice dark color going. Really want to touch the opposite bank where the forest floor meets the water at the opposite bank. Okay, I need some more water. Little clump right there. There we go. The rain is slowing down. It's more of a soft patter now, which is nice. Let's see. Spread this out a little bit. Oh my gosh, what a mess. I'm going to make this tree taller to make it look better. Which is fine. It can be taller. Need more yellow. Rinse my brush. Lemon yellow. Delft blue. Payne's gray. It's kind of picking up the sky color underneath. Add some ivory black to that. And then there's another tree right here. Really scooping that paint onto my brush. Okay, let's see how that looks once it dries. I might have to do another layer of dark over it, I feel, but it's a good start there. Work on these rocks a little bit more. Kind of want to tone down this green, so I'm going to add a smidge of red to it. Red and green are complementary colors, and so adding the complementary color will automatically tone it down. And I'm adding like some grassy texture overlay to some of the shadows of the rocks. Just toning it down a little bit. Let's do a little bit more red. Ooh, too much. There we go. It's dark green now, which is fine. I'll do it along the tops of the rocks so the rocks are more prominent, because the tone of the top of the rock, so the tone of the top of the rock is very similar to the grass. So add a little bit of a definition and texture difference. Add a little bit of titanium white. Add some more variety in the colors. Okay, that's better. There's a lot of oak along here, but I'm not going to focus on that. Kind of keep this a little simple. I am, however, going to work on some of the riffles. So where the current is. So this is just pure titanium white on this little skinny script or liner brush. So riffles like to be where the current is the strongest, and that's usually where the channel of a river is the deepest. Really layering that thick, opaque white of the titanium white paint in some areas. And then it's time for this skinny little tree over here. And there's a bit of moss on it. So it's going to be kind of grayish brown in color is what I'm thinking. Let's get this wet. It's brown color. I want it to be the border of this painting. Cover up all of this edges. Okay, like that. Let's add a little bit Payne's Gray. I'm going to add some titanium white to it as well. Especially on the dark side. Add some titanium white, especially on this dark side, to really help the tree pop. Bring it out. Using my little tiny thin brush. Some titanium white. Okay, now to make it look like a tree with some branches. These branches are really hanging out. Low. That one. This is a little gnarly. And these don't have to be perfect to life, because I mean, it's a tree. What kind of tree it is, I'm not certain this time. It's definitely one that has leaves. It likes water. And moss likes to grow on it. Adding some ivory black to my tree color to do the branches on this side. So once again, they kind of stand out. A little too dry on my brush. Add a little bit more water to it to help the paint flow better. The rain almost stopped all the way. You can hear of a nice creek. Not creek, river. It's a river, Elizabeth. It is not a creek. Flowing right now. I can hear it. base. Tree a little bit wider. Give it some stability. And then let's give it some moss. Just grabbing some of my palette green, add a little bit titanium white to it. My paintbrush has Crazy Hair Day. Do some more white to make it stand out more. That's too green. Add a little bit of my lemon yellow and Pig's Gray. Did it make much of a difference? Probably not. More Payne's Gray. That's a little better. And then a smidge of the white for the dark areas. Mixing some more of like this color real quick to overlap the opposite pink. It's really dark, but add it in a couple other areas. Add too much water on my brush. That's okay. Add a little bit of titanium white to that. That'll stand out a little bit more, especially against that dark. Okay. And then let's add a smidge more highlight on these rocks, because they're quite wet and shiny. And this will, as it dries, dry a little bit lighter. So a couple layers of just pure white. Let's try that. Do a little bit darker along here. Oops. It's a little creepy. Ivory black. And this color over here. Kind of let my brush be a little dry. Give it some texture. The red will kind of make it more cohesive with the brushy stuff over here too. I feel like I need to do something a little bit more with the water. More dark blue. Little dark blue riffles down here. And this really light colored water. Just a wet brush kind of soften those lines. Okay. A couple little things I'm looking at. A little more value interest I want to add along here. So add some more darks. Gonna have a highlight, a mid-tone, and then a dark color. I like to see that in my work. Add some dark right behind this rock to really help it be noticeable. I'm just going to leave the background the way it is. Am I totally happy with this? No, not necessarily, but I like the colors I mixed in this one. It's really similar to the painting I did yesterday too. They look like a nice little spread. So, here we are. I think this is it. Oh, there's a duck out there right now. Okay, I'm not going to paint a duck. If you want to know what I'm talking about, make sure to watch yesterday's video, which was day 15 of my Plein April challenge. Yeah, make sure to watch that one if you want to know what I'm talking about the duck. Not going to paint a duck. So, here it is. Thank you so much for coming along with me during day 16 of Plein April, where I am out painting every day with my gouache palette that I leave the gouache in and let it dry. I use Mgram and Schmincke brand gouaches. If you want me to do a video later about exactly what colors I have, leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it. And if you like the videos I am sharing, please make sure to subscribe. And if you want to get notified of when my next video is live, make sure to click that little bell icon and set that up so that you get notifications as soon as my videos are live. Tomorrow is day 17. It's a Monday. I don't know what I'm going to paint yet. I hope this video has inspired you to get out and paint, even if you are just sitting in your car looking at the river with raindrops everywhere. That's okay, you know? Just getting your paints out, getting the brush mileage in, it's all helping you to become a better artist. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.